Okay, hey you guys, welcome to tonight's live, and I'm so sorry I'm getting a late start today. It just takes a long time to finish the video that I wanted to finish for today, so hence why it got pushed off till 7:30 my time. So I'm sorry because that's like 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, but it is what it is, right? YOLO. Anyways, thank you guys for who's ever coming in tonight, and again, um, today is Sebastian's 3 month anniversary of when he disappeared on February 26th. Hey, Sharon Parker, how are you? Hi, Tara Ann. And Miss Dog Lover's in the house. Hey, Miss Dog Lover. Nice to see you. Of course, I'm in the house. Streamlabs is in the house. And Ella Blue is in the house. Yeah. So, hi, Jenny. I was watching a police car chase. It cracks me up when people evade police but still use their turn signals. Yeah, actually, there was one. I was watching a little bit of Ickmel last night. There was a guy. I think it was a like police shooting thing or whatever. Anyways, um, they're sitting there, and he's surrounded by police, and he's trying to like maneuver around this apartment building. I don't know. It took a little bit. I think 45 minutes or so. Anyways, sometimes I watch those myself. Um, so tomorrow night, you guys should be a good night, good live. Um, so uh, Aspen, he's on his way back home. I think he said he was waiting out a storm in West Virginia over there, and Charmaine as well will be back. So tomorrow night we'll have Charmaine, Aspen, and myself. Almost, I don't know. Do we really need them? Yeah. Well, I haven't said any of the adventures or anything that they've done, so I'm gonna leave them for them to speak for themselves tomorrow night on there. And then for anybody else that's listening, I had a talk with Alexa yesterday as well, and so for anyone, so Alexa, she's still really busy. Like there's a lot going on with Alexa right now, and the working for her dad, and other personal issues and stuff going on like that. But anyways, just wanted to give you an update on Alexa. And did Aspen? I don't know if he met. I mean, we know Deb did, but I don't know if I don't know. I'm not really one. I like to know mostly information as it happens. Like so, I will tomorrow night. We will wait and see, and we can ask Aspen if he did or not. We can ask him a bunch of questions, and Charmaine as well. Hi, Alice in Wonderland. How are you? Major tornado outbreak, from what I can see. Hope everyone is safe. Where's the tornado outbreak? I'm not sure. I'd have to pay attention to the news. And today I really haven't at all. I've been out and about with my husband, um, working on this video since yesterday. It's very tiring working on videos because a small video can easily take hours to do. And this one is about 22 minutes, this video, but it's compacting all the information. Hence, I haven't put out a video in quite a while. One, like, honestly, just been too lazy to do videos. I'd rather sit here and do a live than go ahead and spend all those hours to make a video sometimes. So, yeah, videos, meh. Anyways, so we'll get into it in just a minute. I know, like I said, sorry, you guys, that I'm running late today and stuff like that. I really actually wanted to do it like a couple hours earlier, but the day just didn't go that way. So, and I just, I don't like it. Like, I already feel like I rushed the video as it was, but not really, but kind of still. At some point I'll do the Sebastian whole story line and stuff like that. And so, let's see here. Okay, so what else is going on? I don't know, honestly. It's like I've been watching different things. The other day we did a live with a bunch of different case updates on it. Um, that Ali Abdullah Ban or guy or whatever like that, and I don't know. We did about 5 or 6 cases or whatever, just updates and everybody. Um, That's another thing I don't miss about Nebraska. Their tornadoes and the sirens. Yeah, we don't we don't really get like we don't really get that stuff. Like it's rare to have like a tornado. That's like so rare. You guys have that stuff all down, especially in the southern part of the states and stuff like that, near Florida and all those in the, Puerto Rico areas and stuff like that. But honestly, for us to have like some major event happening, the one major event that I still kind of recall was the Seattle earthquake. That was it like 6.4 or something? And I was just about to get out of bed. Like I was like doggy style on the bed, about to get out. And it was like all of a sudden I started to tremor. And I'm like, what the heck? That's that one where that bridge collapsed and then it went like joop down, onto the bottom level of the bridge. Once in a great while, Vancouver, Washington gets a small one. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, you know what? I'm not going to wait anymore. There's enough, there's let's see here. Oh, 3 people from Twitter at the moment. It's a crime and shame. Again, I know if I would have done it earlier, but you know what? You guys, just please like and share this video. That's all I can ask of you guys. Again, really just to bring awareness to the case. And the video is really just like honestly, like a non-biased video. It's nothing against Seth, Christopher Proudfoot, or Katie. It's really an information video about the timeline, but I wanted to do it in more of a visual for everybody, for as much information as we know. Okay, so hey Lacey, how are you? Okay, so I think I'll take off the branding so that I can get that, because sometimes I don't like it when it gets in the way of things. And I'll make this bigger. And then I'm just going to hit play, and it's about 22 minutes long. Okay. So again, it's like a visual timeline. And I just want to say, actually, sorry. Oh, now I feel nice and big. I just want to say before I start that the pictures of the house, of the Proudfoot home, okay, these are not the actual like furniture and stuff. This is when the house was up for sale, and a different couple had owned this house. So when I show you pictures, like when you're seeing pictures, just know that it's because of the layout of the house and not the actual furniture that's in it. So I just want to make that clear, because some people, you know, sit there and think that it is, but it's from the listing postings when it was up for sale. So it's not actually the inside interior. Okay, guys. So let's get started with it. Nice to see you guys all, as I have to get up at work. Yeah, 5 a.m. Oh, I got to work from home tomorrow and Tuesday. I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. And then I work home tomorrow and whatever. But anyways, we'll get started, you guys, and then we can talk about it after, okay? All right, then. Whoops. Hold on. Let me start it from the beginning.
Although he doesn't like to be dirty, it's kind of funny because he also doesn't have awareness, because if you look, he's got chocolate milk on his face because he didn't wipe it off at breakfast.
Hey everyone, and thank you for watching this video. This is Sunny Justice with It's a Crime and Shame, and today marks the 3-month anniversary since Sebastian Rogers disappeared on February 26 from his home in Hendersonville with his mom Katie Proudfoot and stepdad Christopher Proudfoot. In this video, we're going to go over the timeline of events based on the information from Katie and Christopher Proudfoot and Seth Rogers. Now, please note that Christopher Proudfoot was working in Memphis, Tennessee at the time.
Sunday, the day before he went missing, we got up and, fun fact, I made breakfast that morning. We had a good time. We were laughing, we were joking. He talked to family on the phone during breakfast to brag. We went and picked up our niece. Yeah, I got a call and asked if I could go and pick her up, and I did. And so
According to Katie, she leaves the home with Sebastian and heads over to pick up the niece that had called, and then they head off to BJ's. But we don't know what time she dropped the niece back off.
We went and did that. We went to BJ's. Had a good time there. He ate a colossal popcorn.
So to reiterate, we don't know if the niece was dropped off after BJ's when she said that they went home after purchasing snacks.
Came home to put groceries away because we bought snacks because, he's 15 and snacks. We went to the bowling alley. And then from there we went to dinner. Came home. He took out the trash because that's his chore. He takes the can to the end of the driveway.
Now, Seth Rogers, Sebastian's biological dad, has seen this footage of the Texas Roadhouse restaurant, and it's the last time that he saw Sebastian visually on camera.
About 9 o'clock, told him to go to bed. He's come out of his room where he was playing, and he said, "All right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. Love you." And went to bed. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise and I was like, "I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep."
Earlier you had stated you heard a noise in his room before you went to bed. What time was that?
Around 10 o'clock.
10 p.m. What did it sound like?
Just a thud.
A thud. You stated that you said, "Look, I don't care what you're doing in there, go to bed." Is that right?
I was on the couch, which is near his room, and I said, "Bubba, did you fall out of the bed?" And he said, "No, ma'am." And I said, "Well, whatever you're doing in there, knock it off and go to sleep."
So you heard his voice at 10 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any idea what the sound actually was?
I do not know.
Sebastian's room is on the front of the house on the right-hand side.
About midnight, I got up and I went to bed. And 6 o'clock, I went to wake him up for school Monday morning. And that's when he wasn't here.
That night, Miss Proudfoot, at midnight when you went to bed, what did you do until midnight?
I had been reading a chapter that I needed to, and I had been talking to my husband on the phone. I was falling asleep on him, so that's when he told me it was around midnight. He told me to go ahead and put the dogs up and go to bed. And that's what I did. I got up, put the dogs where they sleep, and then I myself went to bed.
This is the back side of the Proudfoot's home.
What was going through your mind at that point? Like, what were the feelings that you were feeling?
To censor myself. Holy freaking crap, this can't be happening. Where is my kid? Choice words were used. Where the F is he? I had looked through the house for him because it was typical for him to get up and come and rummage for snacks and things like that. And he likes to dip behind the, walls and watch, and then he comes out after I come back and he likes to scare me. But after I looked, and mind you, all of this took place in like 1 minute flat. But I didn't see him in his room. I looked all over. I ran through the whole house. I looked out all the doors and windows, and I was like hollering his name. And I picked up the phone and I called my husband and I said, "I can't find him." And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "He's not in this effing house. I can't find our son." And I jumped in my car and I drove around the neighborhood and I drove over by the school, and he's already at this point I was like hysterical and I was crying and I was screaming, and he was like three-wayed law enforcement and was telling them our son is missing and we don't know what's going on, and he was like, "Go back to the house, they're on their way." And I drove back to the house.
Okay. That morning, was there any sign of a break-in through a window, a front door, a back door, a sliding glass door, anything at all?
No, ma'am.
That reminds me of another question. Do you guys have a motion sensor light or lights on the outside of your house?
Yes, we do have lights on the outside of our house.
Did they activate that night?
They're not motion censored. We have lights.
Were they on that night?
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
Were they on that night? So the lights were out the whole night?
Yes, ma'am. We don't typically turn the floodlights on.
Were there any lights outside the house on at all?
Just my little solar lights that we have in the garden.
There's
Yep.
2 lights on the side of the house above the garage that are on at all times.
Oh, yeah, those are on.
Oh, there's a light above the garage that's on at all times?
There's 2. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so those lights were on?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you park your Infiniti SUV in the garage or outside the garage?
In the garage.
In the garage. Do you have an automatic garage door?
With the clicker.
Right. Do you leave that up or down at night?
Down.
Could anybody lift it up? Like, is there an on and off button outside, or do you have to know a code or have the clicker to open it?
You'd have to know the code or have the clicker.
Does Sebastian know the code?
Not to the garage door, but to the man doors.
Not to the garage door, but to the house doors?
The regular door, yes.
So is there a code to get in your home, or do you use a regular key?
There's a code.
And he knows that code.
Yes, ma'am.
Question. I'm just trying to figure out how he would have gotten out or if somebody came into the home. Could they have gotten through the garage door? No, unless they know the code or had the clicker, which they did not. Do you lock your doors at night?
Yes, ma'am.
Could he have left on his own through those doors?
He could, yes, ma'am.
But I heard in another interview where Mr. Proudfoot said he was not a, quote, wanderer. He didn't wander around. He had never left the home before on his own. Is that right?
Correct. We haven't had issues with him running or taking off in the past.
Okay, let me ask you a couple of questions regarding the doors. Do you have any home surveillance, anything at all that would have given us an idea or a clue if the door had been opened or not, or a window?
Not directly from our house.
Do you park your Infiniti SUV in the garage or outside the garage?
In the garage.
In the garage. Do you have an automatic garage door?
With the clicker.
Right. Do you leave that up or down at night?
Down.
Could anybody lift it up? Like, is there an on and off button outside, or do you have to know a code or have the clicker to open it?
You'd have to know the code or have the clicker.
Does Sebastian know the code?
Not to the garage door, but to the man doors.
Not to the garage door, but to the house doors?
The regular door, yes.
So is there a code to get in your home, or do you use a regular key?
There's a code.
And he knows that code.
Yes, ma'am.
Question. I'm just trying to figure out how he would have gotten out or if somebody came into the home. Could they have gotten through the garage door? No, unless they know the code or had the clicker, which they did not. Do you lock your doors at night?
Yes, ma'am.
Could he have left on his own through those doors?
He could, yes, ma'am.
But I heard in another interview where Mr. Proudfoot said he was not a, quote, wanderer. He didn't wander around. He had never left the home before on his own. Is that right?
Correct. We haven't had issues with him running or taking off in the past.
Okay, let me ask you a couple of questions regarding the doors. Do you have any home surveillance, anything at all that would have given us an idea or a clue if the door had been opened or not, or a window?
Not directly from our house.
Okay, can we talk about Sebastian's shoes? Why are you convinced Sebastian left without shoes on? Or are you?
Well, the reason that came about is because all of his shoes are accounted for inside the house still.
Are you positive?
I'm positive.
How do you know what clothes he was wearing?
The clothes that we described are the ones I saw him in when he went to bed.
That morning, you woke up at 6 o'clock. Is that the normal time you wake up?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a heavy sleeper?
Off and on.
Do you take any medication at night that would make you sleep?
No, ma'am.
But you heard nothing.
I did not, no.
So we know he is alive and well at 10 p.m. At 6 a.m. He's gone. You say he's never left before. Is that right?
Correct. He's never run off before.
And could I confirm, where was his bio dad at the time he went missing?
I believe he was at work in Nashville.
Had there been any family argument or altercation prior to him going missing?
No, ma'am.
And Mr. Prophet, when did you leave town?
Early February.
So you had been gone for days before he went missing. Is that correct?
Correct,
Weeks.
ma'am.
Had you visited home since you left?
And you said from when I initially left?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I came home February 26th, the morning I was told that he was missing.
From the time that you left for the job in Memphis to February 26th, did you visit the home?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
I was home. I can't give exact dates. Law enforcement has told me not to provide exact dates, but I had been home multiple times prior to February. And then I left early February and then didn't come back till February 26th, the morning he was missing.
I got the message at about 7:20. I was there at about 8 o'clock.
So immediately. When you got to the home, tell me about the state of the home.
The home was clean. I mean, it looked like it normally did when I walked in.
So were there any signs of forced entry at the front or back door or on Sebastian's window that you could observe?
No, there was none.
Was anything
Back
stolen
door,
from the
locked.
home?
Not that I was informed of. It was her husband that called me.
Okay. Was that at 7:20 a.m.?
No, 7:20 a.m. is when I got to my vehicle because I got off of work at 7. My shift ended at 7. By the time I found out to make sure that I didn't have to stay over or anything, then I got to my truck about 7:20, and they had texted me and tried to call me on my cell phone at around 6:20.
And you found out about it at 7:20. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Rogers, did he go missing on a school day?
From my understanding, she put him to bed Sunday night, and yes, Monday morning he's missing.
Continuing coverage now on the search for Sebastian Rogers. Concerns grow about whether this story can have a happy ending with each passing day. And joining us now to offer some insights into cases like this is retired FBI agent and author Scott Augenbaum, who makes his home here in Middle Tennessee. Scott, glad to speak with you again. And I have to believe over the years you've been involved in cases very similar to this.
I've seen this happen time and time again. It's heartbreaking. We're asking what happened. because kids just don't disappear in thin air like this for help. Because one of the things we need to rule out, was this an abduction? And this is the number one thing which is on everyone's mind right now. Was this child abducted?
Now, when you say that, at some point law enforcement has to consider not only were they abducted, but was it a stranger? How rare are cases like that?
We don't really see that happen a lot. A lot of times when these abductions happen, it's usually that somebody they know. But now they're trying to rule out everything over here. We can't leave any stones unturned.
Now, toward that end, we saw investigators return to the family home today with dogs, all manner of searching going on. And essentially, when you've exhausted everything else, the area around the home and the neighborhood and the school and all that, do you have to almost go back to the beginning and start again?
Got to start from the beginning. You got it, and then spread out from there. These things don't take, sometimes they go on and on.
But as the time goes on, the child has to eat, they need shelter, and all sorts of other questions come up.
Especially with a special needs child. This is every parent's nightmare, and I can tell you right now, there are a lot of law enforcement officers working constantly, tracking down every type of lead.
Any evidence of foul play?
We have not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
I asked about exclusive home security video obtained from the neighborhood the night Sebastian disappeared. You can see two suspicious light sources, which we've circled here, in an area behind the teen's home. Since we first aired the video last month, authorities have said no evidentiary value.
It is of no evidentiary value.
You gave. I understand that the video of the two flashlights, and I'm saying that with air quotes, that's not exactly what that was at all. We now don't believe that two flashlights were observed around your home. Is that correct?
You're very correct.
The Sumner County Sheriff's Office says the landfill in White Plains, Kentucky is where trash went from Sebastian's neighborhood. The TBI says no specific information led them to this landfill. Rather, it's a precautionary measure. This morning, the Sheriff's Office says no leads or evidence pertaining to Sebastian's whereabouts were discovered during that search. Officials say the decision to search the landfill was to eliminate possible options and questions.
Also, new developments in the search for Sebastian Rogers. We're hearing from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office after a photograph with a rumored sighting goes viral. Now, I want to show you the image. This was taken at a North Carolina rest stop in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Now, some say it looks like the missing 15-year-old from Sumner County. However, after coordinated efforts with law enforcement agencies in North Carolina, the Sheriff's Office has determined that child depicted is not Sebastian Rogers. Sebastian was reported missing from his Hendersonville home February 26th, and so far there's been no evidence of foul play connected to his disappearance.
Craddock says investigators continue to work the case daily and deal not with feelings, but facts and evidence.
There's no stone left unturned.
Nick Barris, News Channel 5.
He likes to have his socks and shoes on.
Seth won't rule out the possibility of foul play, that someone is involved in his son's disappearance. And if Sebastian is able, he says he needs to call for help.
He needs to call 911. And if somebody has him, you need to give him back. He's my son. And he doesn't belong to nobody, but damn it, he's mine. And he's mine.
So, if you know something or see something, please say something about this Sebastian Rogers case. Today marks the 3-month anniversary from the day he went missing on February 26th of 2024. Now, again, this is not a criminal investigation. None of the parents have been charged with any suspicious activity. What did happen to Sebastian Rogers? Hopefully we get answers. It's like he just vanished. Now, his last point of reference was at home. So there's no video footage, in the TBI and that have said that there is no evidentiary value to any of the videos that the neighbors have supplied from what we have been told by them. So at this point, we literally are clueless to what happened to Sebastian Rogers. Please, you guys, like and share this video. Bring awareness to Sebastian Rogers' case and bring Sebastian Rogers home, or at the very least, hopefully Sebastian Rogers will be found one way or the other. But let's keep up hope, because there's no information to let us know if he is dead or alive. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Prayers for Sebastian Rogers and the families and friends and individuals who are impacted by Sebastian Rogers' disappearance. Don't forget, you guys, Sebastian's favorite color is green, so spread those green hearts everywhere. And again, please like and share this video. Hey, Jeff. You know, it's funny, Jeff, I was just thinking about you today, thinking, oh, darn, I haven't talked to Jeff in a while. But then Jeff hasn't talked to me in a while either. 1 second. Let me just go to my thing for a second. All right. Okay, there we go. Okay, so again, this video wasn't like a totally in-depth. This was really some add-ons at the end, but it was just really about a visual timeline to show you what Katie had and Christopher Proudfoot had said, and only a little bit from Seth in this video, because it was really about the timeline to give you a visual and just some added stuff with the Nancy Grace stuff. But that's what this was really just about, just to show the timeline. So there's some things that I'd still like to know about that timeline, of course. Christopher Proudfoot can't be asked to message me back. But anyways, because I would just like to have an actual timeline, like, hey, Katie said she got up at like 8 o'clock, the niece went back at this time. That seems to be a hard thing to get, is like full timeline, but this is as good as we're going to get. But I just wanted to give you guys a visual, show you the distances, and show you like the rooms where Sebastian's room is in accordance with the thing. I think because I double played a clip, obviously, I think I forgot to put one in there. But in the days to come, I'm gonna clean up the video, because obviously I've seen that error I made. Clean up the video and then release it, because again, it's about the timeline on this. Okay, it's not about being accusatory towards Christopher or Katie in this video, or Seth Rogers for that matter. It's just simply about you guys visually having the timeline that's out there by Katie and Christopher. Now, there is a couple things in there, like for instance, Christopher Proudfoot said that he arrived home Monday at 1 p.m. We know, like, in the next couple of days, he went back up to go get the camper and stuff like that. But I don't have time to sit there and, like, for instance, I want to say something to this comment about this whole food thing. Yes, it has been way too long. Okay. I have looked for that part, and I believe it's from Smiley's World, if I'm not mistaken. I have been so I don't know if people are repeating something because other people have said it, but I have not once come across where Christopher Proudfoot said he had cameras of him taking food. I went back to the video of Smiley. So if someone can pinpoint a time for me and whose channel it was on that he said that, because I remember when that came out and I had not heard it, and I had been listening to virtually everything that was coming out. I went back, and there was, because somebody else said the same thing, but a lot of times people will come from a channel and say something, even though it's actually not factual, but it's because other people say it. So if anyone does know that, and I don't want to hear, like, if you actually know that was said, then if you could please, because I would love to add that like into the video, if that is true. I just personally have never heard it myself. And like I said, hi, Auntie Ree, how are you? And there, high support with Steffa, Gail Hurd. Hey, everybody. So yeah, so it's just one of those things, right? Like, when I'm doing things, I don't want to hear that it was said. If somebody has something that they say it's factual because it truly came out of the mouth, then please maybe email me the timestamp of the video that you watched it on, because people say a lot of stuff and people missay a lot of stuff. but I don't want the misspeaks. And we've had that before where somebody was on and they were saying, certain things, and then you go back and play the video, and then it's like, oh no, they didn't say that. So we try to do the best, right? And just making sure we have the facts out of Christopher's, Katie's, or Seth's mouth. Now, it didn't honestly make sense to put too much of Seth's information in here with regards to the timeline, besides of the fact of when he arrived. Why? Because he wasn't there. He doesn't know, besides him saying that, yeah, I got to the house and he said that they took our phones, and that Christopher's mother was at the home when Seth said he arrived. Okay. So that's not in here yet. Things I can put in after the fact, though. But anyways, other than that, he doesn't really, he didn't live in the home. So some of the questions he wouldn't know the answer to if he barely ever was in the home. So that's why it's just more important that what Katie is saying. So Christopher Proudfoot, right? He wasn't there either. All his information is just coming from Katie. And at the end of the day, this whole timeline is really based around what Katie has said, So it's not factual, because we haven't heard that it is factual from Sumner County or anybody else. Just that they've said that there's, basically no one's been cleared, but there's obviously, they've done their homework as best as they can so far. And I just really think that they're included. I don't hate it. You guys can hate it all you want, the slow mode. Why? Because it stops people from typing enter. And as a creator, honestly, it's a headache when people just have free reign at typing, because then everybody will keep typing. And then it's hard for me to see actual comments. So I don't hate it. Now, Lacey, if you were a member, you wouldn't have that problem. But you're not a member, I see. So anyways, Merry Christmas, Sabora stuff. When is Aspen? Yeah. I'm not even going to tell you now. Obviously, somebody came in, and you'd have to go back and re-listen to the live, Lacey. Well, there's Sharon just dumping the information right there. Tomorrow night, you guys, for anyone that's coming in, Charmaine and Aspen will be back. So, of course, Aspen was in Delphi, and Charmaine was on her adventures as well. And so, like I said, I really haven't asked them very much about anything, really. Aspen, he's in, when I talked to him last, he was in, I'm not sure how far, tennis. No, where was he? Said he was, where the heck did he say he was? Virginia, West Virginia, waiting out a bad storm or something like that on there. But yeah, and Jeff, great to see you. But so, honestly, my life's just been going about, with working and stuff like that. And I haven't had time to do a lot of lives. And I forget to stop and smell the roses. But Jeff, I haven't seen any messages come my way either. It's a two-way street, right? Bogey Green Street. And Bogey, I will, if I have time tonight, I'll answer you back. I might have time tonight. If I do, I'll answer you back to that email tonight on there. Slow mode is better when there's hundreds of us. Yeah. It's better when there's still low people in it. Like when there's a bunch of people, like you'll see some channels put it to like freaking 2 minutes before you can even make a comment and stuff like that. And all I can say is it's not your channel, it's mine. And I have slow mode on because it saves me the headache of people just going type. So get on. Okay. I haven't been on YouTube as much as I used to. What you been doing, Jeff? Are you and the wife being naughty on there? Okay. But yeah, so as for Sebastian, very true. It's your channel. Absolutely. I just, like I said, when you're a creator, And if you're not a creator, then you guys have no clue what goes on behind the scenes in a sense. So people can gripe or whatever all they want about certain things, but at the end of the day, I don't do anything to try to, prohibit people from talking and stuff. It's just as a creator, you just, like I said, you put on slow mode for whatever reasons. And I know that there's only 36 in here, but still, if everyone decided that they just wanted to keep typing, then it becomes blah, 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 blah. So self-explanatory. It just has I am a member. It just has froze my account because it's trying to take it out of my PayPal. Well, then you're not a member because you don't have a green little thingy, do you? Yeah, good old PayPal. PayPal can be a pain in the ass. Well, I mean, I've never really had issues with my PayPal on there. Sunny, do you know? No, I've never heard of that name before. Okay, Lacey. On there. Yeah. I just remember when I was working full time and doing lives almost all the time back in the Delphi days. But I just don't, I gotta have my time, yeah. I like to watch BB Monkey. If you guys don't watch, well, it's called Monkey BB. If you guys don't watch Monkey BB, you're missing out because he's the cutest darn monkey ever. And I love to watch him just to relax. But I like the excuse that I haven't been on YouTube lately because I'm getting my naughty on. That sounds like a better one, eh? Okay, any updates? No, there's nothing with Sebastian. And then that just goes really back to the point of it all. At the end of the day, like I said, there's only a few things that can happen, but different thoughts go through our heads, right? Okay, so Sebastian's at home, gets home with Katie. Okay, now Seth confuses me a little bit because he said that he couldn't make out that it was Sebastian in the trash can video, but that he can see that there's a person. So I'm going to leave it to the fact that it was Sebastian because, another neighbor had already said that the police said that Sebastian was. So I'm just going to leave it as the fact that Sebastian was, taking out the garbage can 10 o'clock. She hears a thud, but I'm not going to lie, Katie. Just a thud. That's what she said. Just a thud. So I'm kind of thinking that because she was on the phone with Chris, that probably prohibited her from, probably if she was alone and wasn't on the phone, she might have gotten up perhaps. But because she was on the phone with Christopher at that time, she was probably just like, Sebastian, one sec, Chris, Sebastian, and then just stayed on the couch, so who knows? Thank you, Miranda. No pressers. Yeah, I was amazed. I don't think that there was a ton of channels. Well, maybe they'll do it tomorrow. Who knows? But it's one of those things, right? It's one, what? When a case has nothing happening, then channels that cover it just disappear. I mean, I've done it on this channel myself because, you sit there and you bring awareness to it. And after a while, you're just like, you just kind of move on to other things. And the cases kind of go by to the wayside for a lot of them. But in Sebastian's case, the one thing that's keeping this case out there mostly is the drama. And for the people that want to feed off of the drama, in a sense, and keep it alive for their own whatever reasons, whether it's clicks and views or they just like a drama and stuff like that, who knows? So when Seth and Christopher and that are causing drama, obviously it's keeping the pot open. So and that might not be in the best way for sure, but it still has an effect because people love drama, and no matter what you say, they just simply do. I wish they'd release an unedited video from the neighbor at the end of the block. Many call it the flashlight video. Show it to us unedited. We've already seen it unedited, Jeff. That video. That was already put out there, and Jay for Justice had it on hers. But we already seen. Well, we already seen we've seen more of that video than just the flashlights. So we did actually see that video. But the bottom line is that it's already been debunked. The garbage truck was on the street above. Maybe, no, I'm not even going to tell you to go watch that, dude, because no. But anyways, the garbage truck was on the top. Seth has already said it was garbage truck. Christopher Proudfoot debunked it, and TBI debunked it. So if they all debunked it, it's a pointless video. It means nothing, like legit. It really just means nothing. So it's kind of like someone can waste their time and energy on it, but the video means nothing. The reason I put the video of the flashlight in there and the video of the landfill and the video of the child is because anyone that does watch this live, at least they'll get the actual information, right? And that's kind of why I put a few of those things in there, because I can't help but always keep going back to the Idaho 4. And the Idaho 4, idiots still to this day think that video is from the Idaho 4 house. You know, we had the person that actually made that video, which said it wasn't from, you know, with the blue house that was kitty corner, the picked up sound, but it's because people keep coming, you know, across that still. And some people just blatantly maybe didn't know of the case, come across that video and still think it's true. So I just kind of wanted to throw those things in this video for debunking the flashlight video, which is not flashlights, and it's not in their backyard at all. And for the fact of that boy, that's not Sebastian, but if somebody sees another video and says, oh my God, that is Sebastian, you know, that if they ever come across this video, then they'll know that the landfill, they found nothing. The boy was a different boy, and that the whole flashlight thing was debunked. Yes, thank you. Heck, that's good, but you remember that. Marta, yeah. And then people couldn't, because she couldn't speak English and only Spanish, because she only spoke English kind of like through a Google translator. And so we had Peace, not silenced, and he was interpreting for her, because people just do what they want to do with things. And they totally tried to make it seem like that video was from the house of the Idaho 4, of the screaming and the audio. Not everyone believes that debunking, because that debunking, not everyone believes that the debunking, because the debunking isn't good. Lacey fixed it. Oh, I think I love you again. Well, Adam will probably love you more now on there. Now we can talk, now that you're a member, Lacey. And yes, Jeff, that was the person who put out that Idaho 4 video, but from her own place to show you. It just happened to have some weird coincidence in it. So I don't know, where is Sebastian? That's the point. We just don't know anything. And so going back to it, Jeff, my friend, do you know much about this case? Yeah, you're back. Now you're worthy. Where did the Idaho come from? I thought neighbors. No. If you talk about that audio, no. That audio was debunked. Martha Julie Jimenez was on our channel, who made that video, because I searched her down and then somebody offered me her name. And so she had come on because it clearly said on her TikTok video that it was her own video from an incident that happened, and she was just trying to show what you would hear at a certain distance. Yeah. So, okay, you don't know a lot about the Sebastian Rogers case. Well, Jeff, it's one of those very intriguing cases, to say the least. Child, right, goes missing, 15 years old. So my thing is this, Jeff, there's only a few things that could have happened to this child, okay? Either he left on his own accord and absolutely no video surveillance caught him whatsoever leaving the home. And while he decided to leave this home, he decided he was not going to put any shoes on, take his phone, take his Nintendo Switch, take any snacks, don't take any of the money that he had in his closet. He decided that he was only going to take a little keychain flashlight, supposedly. Even though when Katie was talking on Nancy Grace, she said, was there anything missing from the home? She said no. She didn't even bring up the flashlight, the little keychain flashlight. It's stuff like that that bugs me. If you're going to talk, then be the least consistent in what you're saying. But okay. I'm sorry, but if the kid only took a flashlight, chances are I'm going to say that on every darn interview. Okay. But anyway, so what's the chances that a child's going to leave home on his own accord, because maybe he didn't like how things were going there. I mean, if he loved his mommy as much as she's portraying, then why after 3 months wouldn't he get in contact with his dad, Seth, his biological dad, or his mom, right? Because you'd think at the 3-month point, you'd be really starting to probably miss perhaps your mom, maybe not so much Christopher, but that's us speculating for sure. But it's one of those things, like, if a child's been missing for 3 months, well, at what point doesn't he go, Mommy, I miss home, I miss my stuff, I miss this? He took nothing besides this keychain. There's something wrong about that, eh? Like, there's just something wrong about all that stuff that he didn't take. It doesn't make sense. So if that doesn't make sense, right, that he didn't leave on his own accord, and kind of like what in the end part of that video the FBI agent is saying, most when it was asked about abductions, right, he said most times it's somebody that the person knows, right? Most times, because that's typically what happens. So was Sebastian Rogers taken somewhere and he's being either held at his own will or being held at not his own will, right? Katie Proudfoot, the last one to know anything about Sebastian's whereabouts, and we don't know what the police know. We know that. We're not stupid. But we also know that from the stuff that we have heard and seen, that the last point of Sebastian being home was with Katie. And so that obviously gets looked at no matter what. Like, obviously the police have looked at everything, right, so far, and they've come up with nothing. But why is that? Why have they come up with nothing? Because for instance, sorry, Katie, on this one, but for instance, he could have been put in the back of the trunk and transferred off at a place unbeknownst, as she said. Like, it can be on cameras that she was near the school and looking and whatever, but she could also have been out of camera shot as well, and handed off Sebastian somewhere. It's possible. We don't know, because he didn't just disappear. He didn't. Okay. So it just becomes, why would he run away and not take anything to prepare himself? What kid in their right mind does, I don't care, on the autistic spectrum, he's very intelligent, they keep saying, right? But what autistic child is going to sit there and that's very intelligent and not even going to put on his shoes as he goes out the door? He's not going to take anything to take with him. And yet he's running away? That doesn't make sense at all, right? You try to make sense of that, there's no making sense of that. Sonny, do you think he took the flashlight to take out the trash and barefoot because the trash by the garage? Sonny, do you think he took the flashlight to take out the barefoot? It might have. Absolutely might have. I mean, I used to like to play with those little things and stuff like that. Could have. Only his glasses. Why wouldn't he take his glasses, right? Or you'd think have them on, because you're going to need those for sure. Now, right, his home, let me put it this way. Anything that I've personally heard about this home sounds ridiculously strict in a lot of ways compared to Seth, right? Compared to Seth. Seth seems to have a lot more leniency. As we know, Seth said that he didn't have social media. And in that same Nancy Grace interview, went on to say that he watched Minecraft videos, and then the person said, well, as Nancy said, well, you need social, like social media to watch those things. And he's like, no, like he just watches the Minecraft videos. Exactly. You need Wi-Fi to even do that. So that means like you can talk to people if you want in there. Bottom line is he had it more lenient at his dad's home. So why wouldn't Sebastian then have went to his dad's home, right? We can sit there and say he didn't want to go to online schooling, and stuff like that. But again, so he doesn't want to go to his dad's house, let's just say. Doesn't want to stay with mom and Christopher. So he's going to run away. Hi, bossy. He's going to run away and literally take none of his favorite shit. He's not going to take his Nintendo Switch. He's not going to take food, snacks. He's not going to take anything. Okay? What kid in this world alive would literally take nothing? Even the dumbest monkey, right, would take something like a banana on the way out. So that just seems ridiculous. You sit there and you try to equate that in your head to make sense, and it just simply don't make sense. Okay, let's see. What do you guys all say? Right, for comfort, absolutely. Let's see. It seems that I would be hearing the parents say into the cameras, they're on them often. Sebastian, if you can hear me, know we love you and are looking for you. Say on the camera. Yeah, yet honestly, the Proudfoots have done some really weird stuff and really weird facial expressions at times as well. And in their last one, really weird laughing. Now, I'm just talking about the perception out there. Again, there's nothing that we can sit there and go, well, Katie and Chris did this to Sebastian, right? Or that Seth Rogers did something to Sebastian. Like, there's nothing. But it's kind of one of those things that, you can't, like I said, Sebastian was last seen with his mom, right? She's the last one that had him. So where is Sebastian? I do think that Katie knows more than what she's saying. I like what kind of Dolly said there, like, they ain't the effing Brady Bunch, because they're not. And I think that Katie and Chris, you got Seth Rogers, who just speaks from his heart. Okay. Katie and Chris, no. There's no talking from your heart there. There's a mixture of the element of trying to make yourself look good on TV, but they've done a horrible job of that. But there's that whole intent. They're trying to make things look better than what they actually are. That is crystal clear. Okay. So no, with all the information that's out there, right, they ain't no Brady Bunch. Okay. Sounds like a somewhat of a unstable home for Sebastian, to be honest with you. And keeping him, I'm sure. Well, again, Jeff, it really just goes back to there's no footage. Okay. So on their road, Jeff, there's actually no lights on their road. They live in, like I said, a really upper scale area, but there's no lights. Now, the lights on the garage. Let me just go back to, let's see, so Sebastian's room's right here on the right hand side. Okay. Right. So when you walk in the door, there's another door, but I don't know for sure, but I'm sure if you open up that door, it's going to be like a coat rack type door. And so his room is near the front door. Now, forever and a day, Katie and Christopher are saying that he went out the front door, right? That couldn't gone out the back side because he would have been seen on camera. Couldn't gone out the garage side because there's, like, you would have seen him on camera because of the lights that are on over the garage on there. It's probably So this isn't their furniture, so don't forget that. Okay, this is just a house listing of the house, of the layout, but don't take it for this is their furniture, because it's not, Actually, maybe I'll just stop this for a minute, if you guys, and then I'll go over to, let me just go over to, is this the one I want? Yeah. So you guys can see that okay? Yeah. So this is the only, so besides the lanterns in the garden out front here, besides those lanterns that she's talking about, the only two lights that would have been on would have been these lights. So again, Sebastian, he wasn't caught on any of the ring cameras, videos, nothing, right? Like, if there was a vehicle there, they would have known, right? They would have seen a vehicle and been putting a alert out like they did with Idaho. Do you think he took the flashlight? Oh, wait, I already read that one. Sorry, my bad. Texas is bringing comfort to them. Don't autistic persons say that like routine or habits that are repetitive, they're comfortable with? Absolutely. This would go against every grain that Sebastian is about. Strange, right? Don't take anything, and it would go against every grain that they're saying that he's about, that he's not a runner, a loper. He's, has never done it before. Like I said, every grain would have to go against Sebastian, like I said, don't take anything. So what are the chances that this kid literally took himself out of the house, and then 3 months later at some point didn't kind of go, like, this is if he just left on his own, right? Either he's dead somewhere and they can't find him, which I think would be amazing by this point, but it definitely could still happen, right? But how do you miss every camera? That's what goes through your brain. Like, how do you miss being seen at all and not take anything at all? I mean, is there a chance that Sebastian decided, to end his own life and leave, and that's why he didn't take anything? Is that possible? Yeah. Like anything else, it's possible. And they just never found him yet. Because it's not like we don't hear of cases where the person goes missing and then they find the person in the exact area that they were missing in a year or 2 or 3 later. So that stuff does happen for sure, right? Even with all the drones and stuff like that. I think he might have had it in his pocket and no shoes on inside the house. When the theft occurred, he was loaded up. Well, they would have seen a vehicle, wildfire fly. But that's just it, right? Because I was thinking, okay, well, the window opened, and the thud or whatever, like perhaps that happened, because she didn't get up. Now, Nancy said, like, did you know what that noise was? And she's like, no. But she regrets not getting freaking up off her ass off the couch. I'll tell you that much, because she has a lot of regret about a lot of things. If she had no involvement, of course. Because remember, there's nothing to show that there's involvement, but that could change at some point. They just don't know where Sebastian is themselves. Yeah, is it just me, or do y'all think perhaps Katie is a bit on the spec? Yeah, there's something about Katie that always throws me off. I don't even know how to pinpoint it, but there's something there. There's something with Katie. Like, normally I can pinpoint it most times, like what it is that's bugging me. With Katie, there's just something very strange about her to me. Like, there's very odd behaviors in certain things. And honestly, yeah, like, she's just odd to me. And there's something there that just keeps nagging at me, that bothers me about Katie for some reason. Maybe someone on Minecraft got his attention and he was able to talk to the person while at his dad's. Well, that's just the thing, is that, you know, chances are very low on that, to be honest with you, Jenny. Because, yeah, he didn't, like, meaning he was with his dad, I mean, they keep saying he was smart. You know what? Who knows? Who knows, Jenny? Honestly. If he kept one by bedside. He had a great day, why leave? Right, exactly. If he had such a great day, then why would he leave himself? Right? I mean, frick, he had colossal popcorn. He was bowling. He was at Texas Roadhouse. And then he, decides, hey, you know what? I'm just going to blow this popsicle stand. And I'm just going to, like, take nothing and freaking go take myself out or just disappear into the wild. Doesn't make sense. No. Things usually make sense once we know the story. Well, to me, Katie and Christopher, I don't know what they consider searching for Sebastian, but it's not what, I mean, I guess if they consider handing out flyers, doing their best, doing the best a parent can do, then, kudos to them, I guess, eh? Not how I would be handling it, certainly. That Katie says snacks in that one video drives me nuts. No pun intended on the nuts, eh? Seth made it sound like he was right next to Sebastian when he was playing. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was saying that basically Sebastian was like his Nintendo Switch. He was always on, but that was at Katie's home, eh? But whenever he had a chance to be on his phone and watch Minecraft videos and do stuff like that, right? Like, he had his phone with him. Why would he just leave it? All right. Take care, Jeff. Nice to see you, my buddy. Oh, yeah. Fun fact. Fun fact. I made breakfast this morning. Like, what do you mean, fun fact? So what, you don't typically make breakfast for Sebastian in the morning? Seth is very frustrated. He is frustrated. I just wish he would contain some of the stuff that's coming out of his mouth with his anger and stuff like that. Like, I can understand people being angry, but he's kind of lost his shit a few times. It's not great for public image. I'll just say that, right? I mean, it's not. Not when you're throwing F-bombs around and stuff like that at people. But I like, it's not like I don't understand it. I just wish that, he would, like, your son is the focus, not the trolls, not that stuff. Who cares, right? But I mean, we haven't walked a mile in his shoes, so I just don't like the drama bullshit that goes on with this case. It just seems so childish. Fun fact. I made breakfast yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Why is it a fun fact? Couldn't get off the couch to go see your son and you can't get up to go make breakfast or something, Katie? I don't know. Sharon Parker. Just blew me away still listening to that, knowing that last video. That it's like they were just talking like Sebastian's all alive and fine. Let's just talk about some Sebastian cake pop, lollipop, whatever, Fresher, Starbucks produce crap, and that was such a joke. It's just me. It's a long way to explain a lot of things. Anyway, I mean, like I said, this case, honestly, I really hope that something happens with it soon, because in a lot of ways, honestly, it's getting old fast because there's just nothing going on that we know of at all. And sadly, at some point, like I said, there's going to be the people that keep covering it just for the sake of clicks and views and because they got nothing better to attach themselves to, I guess, stuff like that. But, that's good for the parents, but the news, he'll just, every now and again, he'll be brought up in the news if something happens. But it's getting to that point. I just really hope, it would just really be nice to have some clarity to this case. She probably said snacks like that because he never really got snacks. with how skinny he was. The interview room did a great episode on Sebastian's case today. I hope that. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Christopher or Chris there from the interview room, or what's his name? Isn't it Chris McDonough? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of his myself. That's back from the Suzanne Morphew days. I actually thought he was the nicer one, and that Christopher or that Mike King was the boring one. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because, like, I don't know, certain personalities, very cocky and arrogant, full of themselves a bit on there. But hey, no problem to say that. If Chris McDonough has a good thing on Sebastian, yeah, absolutely. We're not here to stop people from, you guys can talk about channels, even you guys can say Gray Hughes in this channel. If you guys can say Gray Hughes in this channel, you guys can pretty much say anybody's name in this channel. That video of the garage at night is weird to me. What video? Well, I mean, we haven't seen the video. So if Sebastian didn't go out any of the doors or his window, where did he leave from? He would have just walked straight out, or would have been caught on camera. Well, I mean, in all fairness, right? Okay, so, I mean, this road is dark. Where is it? I think we're still on that, right? Well, it's probably still the best one. So, I mean, in all fairness, to this, there is literally no lights. Okay. So if Sebastian would have walked anywhere near this garage from out that front door, okay, he would have been seen because the lights are on. So you would have seen movement. He couldn't have gone out the back because, as Christopher Proudfoot said, he would have been seen on cameras. There's a lot of people have cameras in the backside, let alone the guy in the corner, right? So he would have been seen. Now, they've said that they've had cameras, so I don't know why they were so aloof when she was asking, like, when Nancy asked about cameras, like, do you guys have any sort of footage from your own place, about whether or not, you've seen him leaving out the window, da-da-da-da. But I don't know if they were just being aloof on purpose or not. But I'm like, well, what about the cameras you said you had? Like, so what? You don't have any cameras set up inside of your house whatsoever then? Because, like I said, so I'm very confused because he said that they have cameras. And then you're like, what? Because then Katie says, well, that's what we were hoping for, like, from the neighbors' footage. And I'm like, as if it was like, I don't know. Because I'm still very confused about the whole camera thing. Honestly, like, Christopher has said no, they didn't have cameras, and he said yes, that they did. People are saying that Sebastian, some about cameras and snacks. And I'm like, and Christopher did say that they had cameras. So I'm like, so where's the footage of the indoor shit then? Because you guys would totally have that, I would think. If you guys had cameras, like, inside showing anything, or I don't know what the heck. So I'm all confused by that. But basically, Katie's answer was, well, yes, someone can see the house from their camera, from their thing, but it's so dark out. Now, granted, Sebastian is wearing black with white stripes. It's pitch black. So he could have only gone to the right-hand side if he left the home himself. It would have been to the right of the home, and then there's still people with freaking cameras. So he would have had to been ninja-like, disappeared, couldn't be found. No drones could find him. No dog sense could find him. No nothing, So, and the whole retention pond thing is, no, there wasn't, it wasn't his footprints. Yes, it was. No, there was a scent. Yes, it was. Da-da-da-da. Even then, you just shake your head. Like, it would be nice if that was perhaps true about the footprints. So, but what? So Sebastian invaded every freaking house along the way and just wasn't even seen, not even an inkling of a movement of somebody as he traversed, up to that. It doesn't make sense. So I'm going to say hogwash to that whole scent thing, considering it. I don't know. And does Sebastian have bandwidth? Well, apparently he's really smart. I see JK. I believe Ellie showed Seth a video of Sebastian leaving in her car. Right. Yeah, well, I mean, apparently they got the footage of the trash coming out, right? Sunny, there's a video out there. Seth saw it. It looks like 2 or 3 people there. I don't know. Gail, I've never heard him say that. Like he was on this channel when he actually answered that question. Because I asked it about if he could make out, and he said, yeah, you could make out that there was someone there. And there isn't no video out there of the trash can. Like he saw the video, Gail, but there's no video out there that thing would have been splattered all over the internet if there was a video of the trash being taken out. So if something's out there, it's news to me, probably news to most people. And Seth didn't say anything about multiple people. Not to say he didn't say it somewhere else. So I don't know. I can't keep up with Seth and that anymore. For Seth, it too much, too many channels that he's been on. CJK, do you know where Sunny can get the garage video? I don't think it's out there. Unless, hey, did CJK say he saw it? I don't know. Let me look at. Will Sebastian be found regardless of what has happened to him? 6 months to a year, 40%. Over a year, 8%. Maybe never. We will see 50%. And that's because people just don't know. Well, you can talk all you want, Alicia. You got 30-second wait time, though. Well, that's the thing, is that they're like Adidas white stripes. They might have. But honestly, if the camera's too far, and it's really dark, those white stripes might not, be glow in the dark type ones that stick out. All that shit runs through my head too, like everything. I would just like to know what the real thing is that happened to Sebastian. Yeah. 3 months mark. I can't believe it. I can't actually believe it's been 3 months already. Thirsty as frick. Yeah, he was showing the video because Miranda, he was talking about it on the channel. I asked him that question. I asked him if he could about the video, and he said he couldn't make out it was Sebastian. So I said, well, could you make out that there was a person? And he said yes. No, so let's get like I said, there was no trash truck on Sebastian's road. Here, actually, I'll show you it, guys, again. For anyone that doesn't know, I will show you guys. Let me just do this. Cuckoo click. It's so sad. It's like so devastating, honestly. Children are just so precious, and it just bugs me to no end when a child is missing and you don't know if they're dead or alive in most scenarios. Okay, so let me just go in here for a second. Let's go to okay. The video is from this home right here, 1001 Stratford. Sebastian's, can you guys see this okay? Here, let me make it bigger. There. Let me take off the branding as well. Okay. So this home right here, his camera is basically going like this. Okay. It's like legitly going like here. Okay. It's not facing this way. It's on the corner of his home. And it's kind of like in this type of view, if you look at it. The garbage truck is going up this road. And then it turns around. And then it comes back down this road. So because things can be very deceiving, the lights that you're kind of seeing are coming from the street above. That makes sense. When you have everyone telling you that that it's not the lights in this area, right? Like because they have the actual video footage, right? So we've seen a better version of that video. Bottom line is the garbage truck was going up here, turns around, comes back down, right? And this home is capturing lights, and hence why, well, that's the best I can really explain it, to be honest with you. Now, that information is by, let me just come here quickly, by Christopher Proudfoot to Gray Hughes, that particular information. Okay. Now, Seth has already said it was a garbage truck. And even Seth, well, he was on our live, because I wanted to ask him about that again. But when his internet dropped, he never came back on. And so anyway, so Seth had even said when he was on our live, now that makes sense to me what he said, because he said it wasn't even on the same road. And so that makes sense to me. That just goes along with, because they all seen the video and they know, whoops, that it was coming from up here on there. Well, I think that it's kind of wildfire fly. I think that we can do 2 + 2 on this one, right? I think we can do 2 + 2. So if Seth, if Chris, if TBI said that that it wasn't what we think it is, right? And Seth is the one that came out and said it was a trash truck, right? And then Chris talks to his freaking doppelganger, basically, like freaking two versions of each other. Christopher Proudfoot, Gray Hughes. Huh. If you could find two perfect people that are narcissistic and full of themselves, perfect, right? That's why to each other. But anyways, so if you have Christopher Proudfoot saying that about where the garbage truck is, but yet Chris isn't the one who said it was a garbage truck originally. He said that it wasn't what we thought, but he didn't actually tell us. He knew the answer, but he didn't tell us. But while him and Gray Hughes were kissing ass to each other, that information came out. So that goes along with what Seth said on our live, when Seth said it wasn't even on the same road. So I think 2 + 2 + 2 + 2 + 2, right? I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to understand that, regardless if creators make mistakes or this or that if you compile that information together, it absolutely makes sense. Agree? I don't agree, so we can agree. You're on your own with it, your opinion, and that overlay, Greg's overlay, is incorrect. Who's Greg? Gray, you mean? It is distorted and moved. The lights are located elsewhere. Well, then let me see your version of that wildfire. Like, show me your version of it. Because at the end of the day, I don't care about the minor details of it all. Bottom line, it's a garbage truck. that even Seth said was on a different road, which would make sense. So we'll leave it at that. We'll agree to disagree. Well, Seth said that they were on a different road. How many roads could there possibly be? The camera is facing this way. If the camera is facing that way, right? I don't think it's rocket science on this one. So we'll agree to disagree at the end of the day, because I think that there's enough there to show that it was a garbage truck, that it was said it was a garbage truck. Seth's not going to lie about it. He's not going to lie it was on a different road. Christopher Proudfoot would take with a grain of salt what he says, but that would make the biggest sense of all. It's not flashlights. So when did the trash truck come by Proudfoot's and pick up the heavier than usual garbage? So typically the truck, I think the trash in their area gets picked up between like 5 and 5:30. I think it was. No, I disagree, Wildfire. I've stared at that video myself. And I totally actually disagree with you on that after looking at it. Once we had more information to it, honestly, I'm gonna believe Seth. I'm gonna believe Seth's words over any random viewer's words. If he said that that it was a garbage truck, they were showing the full video, and it was on a different street, I think that's enough to say, at the end of the day, that it's not a flashlight video. And I'm not like to sit there and go against TBI and Christopher and Seth and all of them and think that it's anything more than that. I'm not going to waste my brain cells, to be honest. Yeah, we agreed to disagree on there. So in saying that, why don't you go ahead and make something? If it's not there, tell me where it is then. Saw the same video, not a different video. Right, he did see the same video. He just said from a different angle or something like that, but I don't really think so. I think it was the same angle. Yeah. Now, let's... Well, like I said, like all we're going to do is just frickin' circles on this. Because there's nothing like... This is such a frustrating case. Just honestly, it's just ridiculous how a kid can vanish and not be seen on cameras. Let's put his face up there for Sebastian. At the end of the day, this case is ridiculous. Like, how can there be no answers? How can there not be any cameras? Every time you think of this, then you go, well, how is it possible, right? Do you guys... There should... Well, in this technology and day and age, there should be, for sure. I did respond to you already. The original is my version. I don't need Gray to distort the original fit to his narrative. Which version are you talking about, Wildfire? Are you talking about the one that came out after the fact, like where you could see the vehicles and stuff like that? Or, hold on a second. You talking about that one? Or are you talking about, like, is this your home, 1001 Stratford? Or did you just, like, what? At the end of the day, regardless of where Gray placed them. So, okay, so hold on. Time out, Wildfire, on this one. Okay. So where did you get the original video from? Unnecessary evil. Let's just stop right there so people understand here. So did you come out with the original video of which form are we talking about? Or are you the person that actually lives on the street with that camera? Like, I just want to clear that up because you're saying I did respond to you already. The original is my version. Who's Greg? I think you mean Gray, right? Hope all is well with you and yours. Absolutely. Whoops. Yeah. Yeah. Who? I think. Are you meaning Gray? Like Gray Hughes? Because that's who I'm speaking about. Greg did an overlay where his distorted location of the lights instead of keeping them where their original location was. Okay. My autocorrect keeps. Oh, that's fine. I thought so on there. Okay. So tell me, this is what I would like to know, because I just like I said, try to put out the best facts we have on there. Whether or not to me, Gray's thing was whatever, that camera is still facing up that way. Right? So either two things are happening here. Either you got the video sent to you from somebody, or you took the video. You live in that house and it's your video, so you would know where the lights were coming from. Could you clear that up? Just so I know what you're speaking about. Because you guys all know there's the flashlight video that Nick Perez put out. And then Jay for Justice, but that's someone named Cody, somebody, Josh, somebody all of a sudden came out with this video where you could see the vehicles of the car type of thing. So could you just clear that up for us, Wildfire? Just honestly, at the end of the day, just we just want to put out the facts, right? So humor us. No, it's not my house, but there is their original video. Not the one everyone, including Gray, distorted. Shows the lights to the right. Okay, well, can you do me a favor, Wildfire? Is there any way you can just email me the actual original video so I can take a look at that? You know, like I said, I'm not here to try to make, shit shine or anything like that. Just would like to know, like I said, if they said it was a garbage truck, hey, that's what they've said. Now if it's a matter of where those lights are, different story, of course. Anyways, so if you have the original, if you could email it to me at crimingshame@gmail.com. And if you don't want to, that's okay too. I'd just like to know what the frick happened to Sebastian. That would be nice. Anyway, bear back. Talk amongst yourselves. Don't get me wrong, Fight Wildfire. Okay, yeah, even though you didn't answer my question yet, but don't get me wrong. I watched Gray's thing up until that point that he said that. And honestly, I couldn't have been asked after that, because to me, it was irregardless if he put the lights in the wrong spot and distorted it more than what he should have. It just became, for me, about the fact that the camera is facing that way, that they're not facing it's not facing the common ground that TBI, Seth, and Chris had said that they were shown the video itself. So even if Gray distorted exactly where the lights were coming through, because I kind of thought it was a little bit much myself, it still to me just took away from the fact that it wasn't a flashlight video and that it was coming from somewhere in that direction of the way that camera was facing. Oh yeah, anyway, bear back, talk amongst yourself. Actually, while you guys are waiting, I'll just play the start part of that video of mine. Not the whole thing, just the timeline area part. Video file. Or I think I already still have it. 1 second. Had it to stage.
I
No.
was on.
Okay. This is just, we'll play the timeline part of it.
Although he doesn't like to be dirty, it's kind of funny because he also doesn't have awareness, because if you look, he's got chocolate milk on his face because he didn't wipe it off at breakfast.
Hey everyone, and thank you for watching this video. This is Sunny Justice with It's a Crime and Shame, and today marks the 3-month anniversary since Sebastian Rogers disappeared on February 26 from his home in Hendersonville with his mom Katie Proudfoot and stepdad Christopher Proudfoot. In this video, we're going to go over the timeline of events based on the information from Katie and Christopher Proudfoot and Seth Rogers. Now, please note that Christopher Proudfoot was working in Memphis, Tennessee at the time.
Sunday, the day before he went missing, we got up and, fun fact, I made breakfast that morning. We had a good time. We were laughing, we were joking. He talked to family on the phone during breakfast to brag. We went and picked up our niece.
Yes,
Yeah, I got a call and asked if I could go and pick her up, and I did. And so
according to Katie, she leaves the home with Sebastian and heads over to pick up the niece that had called, and then they head off to BJ's. But we don't know what time she dropped the niece back off.
we went and did that. We went to BJ's. Had a good time there. He ate a colossal popcorn.
So to reiterate, we don't know if the niece was dropped off after BJ's when she said that they went home after purchasing snacks.
Came home to put groceries away because we bought snacks because, you know, he's 15 and snacks. We went to the bowling alley, and then from there we went to dinner. Came home. He took out the trash because that's his chore. He takes the can to the end of the driveway.
Now, Seth Rogers, Sebastian's biological dad, has seen this footage of the Texas Roadhouse restaurant. It's the last time that he saw Sebastian visually on camera.
About 9 o'clock, told him to go to bed. He's come out of his room where he was playing, and he said, "All right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. Love you." And went to bed. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise, and I was like, "I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep."
Earlier, you had stated you heard a noise in his room before you went to bed. What time was that?
Around 10 o'clock.
10 p.m. What did it sound like?
Just a thud.
A thud. You stated that you said, "Look, I don't care what you're doing in there. Go to bed." Is that right?
I was on the couch, which is near his room, and I said, "Bubba, did you fall out of the bed?" And he said, "No, ma'am." And I said, "Well, whatever you're doing in there, knock it off and go to sleep."
So you heard his voice at 10 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any idea what the sound actually was?
I do not know.
Sebastian's room is on the front of the house on the right-hand side.
About midnight, I got up and I went to bed. And 6 o'clock, I went to wake him up for school Monday morning. And that's when he wasn't here.
That night, Miss Proudfoot, at midnight when you went to bed, what did you do until midnight?
I had been reading a chapter that I needed to, and I had been talking to my husband on the phone. I was falling asleep on him, so that's when he told me it was around midnight. He told me to go ahead and put the dogs up and go to bed. And that's what I did. I got up, put the dogs where they sleep, and then I myself went to bed.
This is the back side of the Proudfoot's home.
What was going through your mind at that point? Like, what were the feelings that you were feeling?
To censor myself. Holy freaking crap, this can't be happening. Where is my kid? Choice words were used. Like, where the F is he? I had looked through the house for him because it was typical for him to get up and come and rummage for snacks and things like that. And he likes to dip behind the, walls and watch, and then he comes out after I come back and he likes to scare me. But after I looked, and mind you, all of this took place in like 1 minute flat. But I didn't see him in his room. I looked all over. I ran through the whole house. I looked out all the doors and windows, and I was like hollering his name. And I picked up the phone and I called my husband and I said, I can't find him. And he said, what do you mean? I said, he's not in this effing house. I can't find our son. And I jumped in my car and I drove around the neighborhood and I drove over by the school, and he's already at this point I was like hysterical and I was crying and I was screaming, and he was like three-wayed law enforcement and was telling them like our son is missing and we don't know what's going on, and he was like, go back to the house, they're on their way. And I drove back to the house.
Okay. That morning, was there any sign of a break-in through a window, a front door, a back door, a sliding glass door, anything at all?
No, ma'am.
That reminds me of another question. Do you guys have a motion sensor light or lights on the outside of your house?
Yes, we do have lights on the outside of our house.
Did they activate that night?
They're not motion censored. We have lights.
Were they on that night?
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
Were they on that night? So the lights were out the whole night?
Yes, ma'am. We don't typically turn the floodlights on.
I'll stop it there on there so again, that was like the timeline, and thank you. It was a super cute video. I was just trying to give people a visual of that part. So this part from on and it talks about the shoes. Are you sure about the shoes thing? And then Seth getting there, when his little timeline. Other than that, Seth doesn't have too much to offer when it comes to the information that is really truly from Katie's. Everything really, besides Christopher Proudfoot hearing from Katie, this whole timeline is truly based around Katie's timeline of events. Yeah, on there. So I know I gotta like I said, this thing literally takes hours to go get every clip and play clips and put it together and stuff like that. I still need to clean it up better, and then I'll put out the video when it's ready as a whole for the timeline. I wish that Christopher Proudfoot, regardless, if I still think, I told him in the last message, you're not my favorite person, but I just literally want to ask you a few questions about the timeline. I would just like to have the timeline from beginning of the day to the end of the day, right? It's going to be Katie's version, obviously, but I would just like to clean up some of the missing things that are in there about what time they actually got up, what time that they dropped Esther back off at home, because the strangest thing about Katie's and Christopher's interviews is that they're just so inconsistent in what information they'll give one interview to another one. And it shouldn't be that difficult when Christopher Proudfoot is taking the information as we know it from Katie Proudfoot. So what I want to know is, as a mother, why is it so difficult just to get an actual timeline from her? The best timeline so far was mostly in the Chronicles of Olivia one. But I just don't understand why everything seems to be pulling teeth when it comes to Katie. Like I said, I'd like to freaking interview her myself. All I want is straight ass answers to the timeline, to the day. And there's some questions that I just don't understand why people still haven't asked them, but whatever. You know what? At the end of the day, it's not my kid. It's not your kid, right? So anything that any channel does to help out with this case, then you can be very thankful to yourselves for caring enough to put out the information for them, because that's exactly what this is, right? Beyond the whole drama bashing of the Proudfoots or Sath or whatever, the bottom line is the timeline is about Sebastian and what, the timeline leading up to. And it shouldn't be so freaking difficult to have a timeline. Baby, do you need to go to bed soon? No. Oh, okay. You just coming? Do you need me? Okay. Do you need me? No. Yeah. You such a lie. Such a lie. Checking the clothes in the bed. Oh, okay. You want to put those away there? Probably no. Yeah. But do you know what I mean? Yeah. So all this information, like I said, is Katie's to give. And so the only thing we can rely on is them. Now, I don't know why, but I'm having an issue. I need to, let me leave it on this one. Is that too hard on the eyes? Yeah, maybe I'll leave it on that one with Sebastian there. But so like this whole thing is strange. And it's hard not for people to look at Katie Proudfoot. It's not hard, right? Because she was the last one to see him. It's based on her timeline of events. It's been like pulling teeth. They've done very strange things, from the pictures coming off the vehicles to the closing off of their Facebook so that they're just private and stuff like that. Like, everything is more geared towards the impressions, and it doesn't feel genuineness, right? It doesn't feel genuine. The information coming from them doesn't feel honest and genuine. Even if it is, it's a very, to me, pathetic way that's as a mother of a missing child, that you were not screaming from the rooftops begging people for help. That last video to me was disgusting. Listening to it laugh. You can talk about memories, but it was such a joke, that video. It's like the kid isn't even missing or anything, and that they're just talking about cake pops and produce and Starbucks and stupid shit. And it's like, is that going to help find Sebastian? Sure. Okay, thanks. Thanks for letting us know he doesn't like strawberry cake pops and this, and he likes that, and stuff like that. But at what point really in that thing did they say, hey, if you guys could just please keep looking for Sebastian, help us find it? Like, do they not see do they not visually see how they're portraying themselves? If not, go smack your head on a wall, right? And act like how parents that are totally grieving, missing a child would actually seem like, because it doesn't come across like that to me whatsoever. At first, I was giving Katie the benefit of the doubt with her emotions and stuff like that, still thinking that there was some weirdness going on there. But honestly, just from my own perspective as a mother, I am disgusted with what I see Seth doing, which is what a parent should be doing, versus what Katie and Christopher are doing. And it just seems like an absolute joke from the Proudfoot corner. It honestly does. So far be it for anyone to even have any suspicion at all, Katie, because you were the last one with your son, and he just vanished without a trace. And is it possible? Yeah. But how come there's not these dog sounds? And yes, Sebastian is a size 10, by the way. Christopher, I think, said he was a size 14. But the thing is that we don't even know what's factual about that pawn thing, because how did nobody see him? No car movement at that time of the night. We don't even know if that is factual or not. It's just information given by Katie, because that's all we have to go on. If Chris, like I said, you want some hard ass questions, Chris, get your ass on up here and let's do it then. Seriously, this little frickin' bouncing around, frickin', like I said, you want some actual hard questions, I'll ask you hard questions. Actually, Katie, get your butt up here. You're the one that was there. Chris, no, too many details on what happened. Yeah, for someone that wasn't there. Yeah. Like, honestly, it's like, just, he needs to put his ego ass aside. Quit who cares what people are going to talk shit. Doesn't matter what case it's about and stuff like that. He seems more concerned about this impression that's being left on him. Dude, you earned it. You literally earned it. Why did they leave their home and why haven't they searched or gone to vigils? Right, because it's all about Sebastian, Miranda, right? Because it's all about Sebastian, not necessarily evil. Why don't you try and find the trash trucks that they have in Hendersonville, Tennessee? Yeah, well, at the end of the day, like I said, that's like old news to me personally. The whole it was a trash truck, regardless, right? If it was in this view or whatever, it doesn't matter to me. It was debunked that it wasn't a flashlight video. I agree, Sandy. Not once has she said, if anyone sees him, please call. Well, they've said it very rarely, but I'm just astonished. Like I said, like the further it gets into it and the more that we've been able to see and to see some of the, right, not the freaking Partridge Family shit or the Brady Bunch, that what they're trying to give us, because nobody likes to look bad, okay? Even though Christopher Proudfoot probably overspeaks when he started talking about the whole spanking thing. Like, honestly, did he, like, I'm sure he wanted to retract that back because, then everyone starts digging deep and deep and deeper. Not that they wouldn't have anyway and stuff like that. But, what did you say there? I agree that no. He said anyone. But yeah, like they have a little bit, but what they've done is just strange. It's strange from the get-go. Strange from the get-go. Those specific are, like, and I get it. Like, I'm the first one to always realize, right, myself, that what the police have and what we have are two totally different things, right? Because there's so much more that they would know. At the end of the day, there's literally been nobody that's been arrested. They haven't found Sebastian because they are clueless and stumped, and if they do have any sort of innuendos towards anything that there was something to do with Katie or whatever, then they're not telling us, that's for sure. And because they would have to frickin' find where Sebastian is, and they don't know. They don't know, because if they did know, thank you for covering the case, have a good day, type of thing. That's how it would be. But they don't know. They legit don't know. So they might have suspicions or thoughts on different things, but until they can figure out at what point Sebastian left the home, or was taken out of the home, sounded like a memorial at a funeral. Didn't she pass 2 lie detector tests? Well, according to her, she did, right? According to her. Everything's just according to Katie, and that's the best that we have to go on, to be honest with you. I mean, like I said, Seth wasn't there. Seth can only tell you things that Sebastian might have liked to do, did at his home, and this and that. But as for the whole freaking, like, seems like Seth was unaware of lots of what was going on, right? For sure. What was going on behind closed doors. And, like I said, the whole thing is weird. They're weird. Regardless if, I don't know, like, I'd be a monkey's uncle that people act this strange and weird and had nothing to do with the disappearance of Sebastian. But with that, whatever, bite my tongue kind of up until the point that the case changes in some way, shape, or form. You just can't make sense of it. Every time you try to think about what could have happened, because there's only so many situations. So I thought, okay, so did he leave on his own accord, right? And like we just talked about earlier, took nothing, right? Just, hey, you know what? Just going to head on out of here, no shoes, just going to leave home. I'm going to dodge every camera possible. And guess what? No freaking drones, no dogs, no people. Nobody is going to find me, because that's how good I am at hiding. That's how intelligent I am. Very unrealistic that something like that would happen, right? Doesn't make sense. So child runs away, takes off, right? The only time that somebody would do something like that is when they take nothing, is because they planned on taking their own life. Now, again, hold on, you drink. Gotcha. Good for Granny. Okay. So, right, the only time somebody would do that is if they were, like I said, going to take their own life, not a care in the world, but still. But you managed to get by all the cameras. Nobody could find you. No drones, no dogs. Nobody can pick you out. So, is it possible? Who knows about the camera footage or the footprint, 10 foot, size 10 at the pond, and the dogs that Christopher Proudfoot said 3, like he said that none of the cadaver dogs hit, that only 3 of the scent dogs hit, for actually whatever bing bonging down, beside the house or behind the gate or beside the gate, kitty corner to their home to the back of the home of the other one, and then down over off of Stratford and back up that road on Kellyland Road and up to the construction site. Still not seen on camera, not seen on anything, And then, so do you honestly think Sebastian was like, okay, so, he'd have to be part of this major setup, to think that, hey, I need the vehicle waiting over there near that pond, so I can get abducted and I can leave. So then I thought to myself, okay, was it a teacher or somebody that Sebastian had grown close to through school that decided that they were going to be his savior? Because there's those whack jobs out there that do that. Is it possible? Absolutely. Those freaking weirdos in life, those people exist, more than you care to even know, probably, right? Okay, Katie leaves the home in the morning, right? Okay, that there's a possible exit there of Sebastian, whether he's alive or not. Okay, there's a possible exit there, So, because we've already ruled out the magic carpet ride, the teleportation, the freaking spaceship, we've already ruled those out. So what do you have left, really? If this garbage truck had anything to do with anything, like I said, if there was a vehicle or an image that there was something about a weird vehicle in the area, right? And they wanted our help, that's when they come to us, because we all know that the police will give us information that they want to. They'll hold back what they need to, give us what they do, because they either want us to spread the information for them, or they will give us a video of Sebastian, at some moment, not the one where he's leaving the roadhouse, right? But they'll give us something. If there was a video of Sebastian leaving the house or on somebody's footage camera, they would have shown that to us to show us like the direction, or a vehicle. If there was a suspicious vehicle, right? They would have been looking at all those different camera footages, whether it was on that street or other streets, to look for any sign of a suspicious vehicle. And again, if there was, and they didn't know how to whatever, and they would give us information probably on a vehicle, like they would bring out that in the news. That's just always what they do, like they did with the Kohlberger case. But we don't have any of that. I wonder if I pissed him off enough that he stayed away. Yeah. Maybe like I said, it's hard when somebody goes against everything. I honestly, like I said, people come, people go, for people that come and want to watch, obviously come enjoy the live. People don't want to watch or whatever, again, then don't watch the live. It's one of those things. I don't sit there and, kiss people's ass to be like, oh, like Carl, he has a very opposite thought, but he was very snarky. But anyways, he's that kind of guy that kind of comes in no matter how much you tell him, like, well, piss off then if you want to be rude. It's like they just come back. And you're like, why? Like, I wouldn't go back to a channel, type of thing. Actually, when I go to a channel, you're lucky if I speak in a channel on there. But I'm not going to go to I get annoyed by a creator or something. Heck, I'm not going to watch them. I don't give a shit. I might watch a part of it that I like. If it was to do with Christopher and Katie or Seth, I might watch that piece of it, perhaps. I don't know. I'm not one of those ones that just sits there and, tries to sit there and leech around off, everyone else's footage and stuff like that. After a while, it gets kind of boring when it's just more drama and there's no and there's no relevant information coming out of it. Like there was no relevant information coming out of that video on Queen Bee that she did. I mean, it's her channel, do what she wants. Christopher and Katie, do what you want, whatever. Right? Don't blame other people for how you look to the public. You know, and if you guys want to sit there and laugh like you're having the best heyday alive on a channel, Christopher and Katie, you know, and you're these grieving, you know, parents and stepdad there and stuff like that. Like I said, that's your will to do that. But, you know, kind of makes you really look bad that your son's missing only 3 months and you're going on a channel freaking talking about cake pops, lollipops, freaking produce, freshers, and not any time during that live those was the questions asked, you know, or to keep looking for Sebastian, or you know what I mean. It was just stupid stories that honestly no one truly cares about. Is like, are you gonna sit there and find Sebastian in the cake pop aisle, you know, while he's having a Starbucks fresher, you know, freaking enjoying melons and stuff like that? Come, like, I get it, you're talking about some stories, fine. But that one was just a joke and a half. Dolly said, leave it to Beaver. Oh, yeah, to leave it to Beaver. Hi, Bogey. I really feel Chris is gloating. I'm sorry. But saying his boy always outsmarted everyone is saying Chris has outsmarted everyone. Yeah, TBI, literally everyone, like the little ninja man. Yeah, Christopher. Yeah. Well, you know, at the end of the day, Christopher has to live with himself, who he is as a person, regardless. And I hate to break it to you, Christopher, but you're not a very good person. You can think you are till you're blue in the face, but you're not. And no one's gonna like. The only people that are gonna like you are the ones that are kissing your ass just to get information from you. I personally don't like you, but I'll have you up on the live so I can ask you hard questions. Fair enough. Fair enough. In my information, KP appears to work to cover up. When Katie was interviewed by Nancy Grace, her behavior was stoic. You know, there's some very weird things. Like you can see when all of a sudden they were talking about the vehicles, you could see Katie's answering, but she's like, why are you asking me this? Like you could feel the tension, you know, when you're watching it and how she's acting. And it's kind of like, you see her little neck twitch there, like, why are you asking me about our vehicles? You know? And it was just, you could just see when Katie, she's weird. She's weird. Sorry, Katie, but you just kind of, you're kind of weird. You are strange. And I think I just feel like Katie's deceiving us in a lot of ways. I think that's probably what's bugging me, is that I feel like she's being deceptive. Yeah, and Christopher is just deceptive, you know, in a lot of ways. Yeah, he thinks he's like playing the cards. Oh, Katie, here on this Queen Bee, you do the talking. Let's make it so that you're the one doing the talking, right? Because everyone's always accusing me of this, so you know you best speak now and stuff like that. Play the stupid games. That's all they keep doing is playing games. You know, with the polygraph test, the whole game playing, just with everything. Who does that? Who does that? Who goes and calls another channel and pretends like you're freaking, you know, freaking Huey, Dewey, Louie, whatever the frick he was pretending he was there on that thing. Hi, Liz. How are you? Yeah, Bigfoot. Yeah, but I think he took down that video, by the way, Dolly. So I don't know if he took it down because he got a copyright to take it down, even though he wasn't showing, like he was just playing the audio. So usually you don't get that one that way. But it was in my thing here. And then all of a sudden I was clicking on my tab and it said the video has been removed by the uploader. And I'm pretty sure it was that video that I had it on. But does Sebastian understand what unaliving actually is? You know, I don't, you know, because just because he's autistic doesn't mean he doesn't know or feel depressed or these things. You know, I mean, he was only diagnosed, like said, not that long ago. And the parents keep saying that besides him having a few issues, personal space and stuff like that, and that he's in some sort of, what do you want to call it? Whatever it's called. Not mainstream teaching, but it is, but it's called something like, whatever it was called, where they get a little extra time. Other than that, I'm pretty sure for the most part, in a lot of ways, he's just normal in a lot more ways. He played chess and video games. I'm sure he knew what unaliving. Yeah, I agree. People should be able to agree to disagree and not feel like as if they disagree, they should leave or feel bad about others' opinions. Well, so technically, people can agree to disagree. Absolutely. It's all about how something is said. And if it's said with ignorance to it, like Carl Ferguson, if it's said with ignorance to it, then absolutely don't bother to stay in the chat, because people can agree to disagree. Absolutely. We all have opinions, but it's all how something is said in here that counts to me. Sebastian is highly functioning. He's in regular classes at school. I think he knows. Yeah, it was in regular classes, but I can't think of what it was called. He called it something. I remember listening to that today. Whatever. Something for me program. This is so weird. Just proof. No shoes. Right. That's the whole thing. No kid runs away by themselves without taking anything. Okay? Someone could probably be way more on the spectrum than Sebastian and still would take more than nothing. Doesn't make sense. How do you take nothing, leave the house, no shoes, take nothing with you at all that you care about or like, don't take any snackies, and then, like I said, ninja it through all the cameras. I wish there was some other footage of Sebastian talking and others. The green tea video. Oh, yeah. Seeing his mannerisms and hearing his voice could help find him. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know that would help find him or not, to be honest with you. I mean, he's either out in the trees dead, he's with somebody that has him and is hiding him, or he was removed from the house and in hiding, or he was taken from the house and is dead that way. I'm just praying that he's alive, because there's nothing to show either way. That's just it. No matter what suspicions people have, there's nothing to show anything besides pure speculation. Press conferences will last Monday, 12 arrests. Protecting tomorrow. At least 20 underage children via internet. I like it when they have those bigger busts or whatever. They tune in order to irritate the channel. I suppose some people just like to stir. Yeah, no one they think knows who they are and think that people don't have the technology to see who they are. I got to read that again. They tune in order to irritate people. I suppose some people must, 10 of those people, I swear. Every scenario I think of seems improbable. Right. I mean, I've gone through it all myself, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have as well, right? Like, you try to look at every single thing that's been said and just what makes sense. And the thing is that we would have some more information if we actually knew what video footage was out there already, and when we were able to access that, but bottom line is, TBI says that there's no evidentiary video, or any videos out there that have any pertinent evidentiary information. They got shit all to go on. Shit all. Right? But the thing is that in saying that, still, there's only so many scenarios that could have happened to Sebastian, and what becomes the most realistic and logical. So it's not realistic to think that a child leaves home without his phone, without his shoes, without any snacks, without any money that he had. That's not realistic to think that he did that. The only way a child would do that is if they literally went with the intent of taking their life. So what are the chances that, again, he got past all the cameras, that they didn't find him through drone searches or anything like that? Like Katie said, something like that. They started like maybe he was out of the search circle before, whatever. So if this is the case of Sebastian, he must have hated Seth, Katie, and Chris, if that's the case. Because 3 months later, and this kid managed to elude everyone, everything, highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. So, abducted or taken or removed from the house. And then you try to explain that one. So let's just say abducted. Okay, where? There's no footage of any vehicles on the road, right? Neighbors have been talking about their videos and different thing, like, freaking kumbaya thing going on with neighbors because they want to know what happened to Sebastian. People can't keep their mouth shut if they tried, right? So they're all sharing their information together about their own personal footage that they have. You just, maybe the odd person, like Mr. Guy in 1011 there, that's a police officer. Maybe he's not sharing his videos or whatever. But, people just, like I said, talk. So at what point would a vehicle have come and abducted him? If there's nothing on camera to show that, right? So then what's the next option? The home. At the home. And if you go by Katie's timeline, right? I mean, again, the police will have her vehicle leaving in the morning. So that was going to only be the one time, to me, that this could have happened, would have been in the morning of that Monday morning when she said that she went, was looking for Sebastian and went out. Like, that would have been the only time, because the police would have had footage of the vehicle of her leaving if she left at a different time, unless she did and we just don't know it because they can't prove anything that something else went on. See, that's where we don't know. We don't know if Katie's vehicle left the home at another time, and we don't know about it. We don't know that. We're just going by the information given to us. Or if someone has a nice connection with a neighbor across the street that would have said Katie's car left at this time and this time. But according to Sweetie Pie Low, the one neighbor that could see the house across the street, or at least one of the people that she was talking to, said that, the lady went through her video. And the only thing that Sweetie Pie Low kind of came back with from that video was that everything that Katie said happened. That the lights went out at just after 9:07, I believe, in Sebastian's room. That the lights went out in the living room or whatever, like about 11:45. And that Katie was gone for about 10-15 minutes, So that stuff just spirals in your head. And then you think, well, then what the fuck happened to Sebastian? I heard Seth say about what he has. He does the same work that they do in regular classes, but he's in a program where they get extra time. Pro-criminal supporters, I would get into arguments. Autistic, I need to go here soon. Autistic people feel all the same feelings as non-autistic people, although some don't express empathy the same way as others. Doesn't mean they don't have empathy, love, and pain. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right, but if he's never been around anyone who talked about it, like maybe Facebook. Hey, Travis. 1 second. Sunny, what's it look like as KP and CP are guessing how they would appear to the public to me? That is very telling in my information. Watch the video of the little autistic girl. I already seen that one. Unless you're asking me to play it. That was good video. You can send me the link and I'll play it, Travis, but you can do that. That was a good one, but I'd have to go back searching through it, and I don't have the time right now. In fact, I gotta go to the bathroom. His parents didn't know. Oh shit! You guys are all down here talking. Let's see. Is Miller, Texas excerpts on this? Thought I heard. Yeah. Texas Equa Search is helping with this case. They're not like full on it, but they're helping with the drone footage, for the water and different areas and stuff like that. But I think they're helping out more than they were initially. Okay, you know what? I understand. I wasn't like, okay, well, you do that. You guys just talk amongst yourself because I totally have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Okay, thank you. Travis, are you sending it to my crime and shame email when you do, by the way? Just because I don't see anything yet. But I'll play it when Travis sends me the link. So I don't think SSI because you think he would have phoned his dad. Well, who knows? That's just it. And so yeah, so like EquiSearch one. Blank back to me. EquiSearch is helping. Like I said, they're doing drones and certain things, but I don't think that their actual like team is out there ground searching, like in the sense of ground searching. I don't exactly know what they're doing. I was watching Duty Ron when EquiSearch was on there, and they were talking about the work that they're doing on Sebastian's case, and that's a good group of people. But I don't think that they're like fully in there. They're doing certain things, and mostly to do with, I think, the drones and stuff like that. So I mean, is it possible that Kitty left that morning? Like, I'm just saying, is it possible that she left that morning? Sebastian was in the trunk of the car or laying down in the back seat or something like that, and he was handed off, type of thing at some point during that time. and that they're just covering that up. I mean, it just seems like a bit of a stretch, but how many more options do you have, like, to think, like I said, it just, like, I'd be a monkey's uncle is if this kid took off, left the home without nothing, took his own life or something, and they found him down the road somewhere, like, meaning at some point that they missed him in a search. Because it's just, no kid's going to run away and not take anything. Just doesn't happen, especially without shoes. Come on now. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen that way. Well, the thing is that, I mean, is it an option? Yes. Is it possible? Yes. Could be a low possibility, but it's a possibility. Like a few other things. Like, for instance, people think that Sebastian was handed off to the Bauer Sox and they did something with him. Is it a possibility? Yes. Is it a possibility that some kooky teacher frickin', tried to be a savior of something? Yes. Lots of things are possible, but they're just on the more implausible end. Okay, thanks, Travis. Yeah, I already. Okay, so Christopher Proudfoot, of course, right? Whoever kisses his ass is where he is. So yes, so J for Justice. Okay, so I saw this whole thing with J for Justice, meaning that, so apparently Tony, and I'm not sure, Seth had come up with this idea to create a tip line, some sort of Google number or something like that. So J for Justice called it. And yeah, it was strange. She did get hung up on because I was watching J for Justice. I saw that video when it came out, and it was like such a joke. Like, that whole thing for their tip line, it was like, we only take tips, we don't talk to you, type of thing. And then I don't know what the heck they're trying to do there, but whatever it is, I think it's a fail. I think that Tony and, like, I think Tony is the one behind all this shit, and Seth is just, going, yeah, let's do this, right? Because y'all know that Seth is all pissed off about tips, hearing about tips and not them being looked at, that people are saying that they're not being looked at and stuff like that. So they're trying to create their own little thing, and I think it's a fail or something like that. Anyways, yeah. So that was kind of comical when J for Justice was calling that up. Anyways, I forgot about that till you reminded me about that, because I had seen that the other day. Yeah, I honestly, I don't think there's no need for Tony Guy, to be honest with you. Sorry, Tony. I think you're causing more havoc than good, to be honest with you. I think Seth, well, I mean, whatever. If Seth wants them, you know what it feels like to me with Tony? It's like someone that doesn't know what they're doing, but claims that they know what they're doing. That's what it reminds me of. Well, the thing is, from the parent point of view, they're going to think every single tip out there is going to be something for Sebastian. Is that coming in from you, Travis? Okay, thank you. I just type in Queen Bee into Google, into YouTube. But the police, they're not going to look at everything that doesn't make sense. Like, if things don't make sense to them, they're not going to look at those tips. if they know that they're not pertinent tips to look at. Okay, so let me just see. Missing girl. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, you got it on the smaller version. Let's see. Thanks, Travis. Can you guys see this okay? Now let me just take this down. So this is the missing child with autism, the little girl. So I'll just put it onto a bigger screen and play this one. And this, okay.
Are these his shoes? Come on,
let's get it.
Right there. Canine 10, we're out with the subject. Come here. She's friendly. Come here. You want to pet her? Come here, buddy. She's friendly. Good girl, mamas. Hey, buddy, come on up, man. Come here. That's good girl. You want to pet her? That's Canine Sika. She did a good job, didn't she? Canine? Yeah, she's a police dog. And she finds people. That's a drone. Yeah. Say hi.
We were helping look for you too. Your mom was all scared. She didn't know where you were.
Yeah. Are these his shoes? Come on, let's get it. Right there. Canine 10, we're out with the subject. Come here. She's friendly. Come here. You want to pet her? Come here, buddy. She's friendly. Good girl, mamas. Hey, buddy, come on up, man. Come here. That's good girl. You want to pet her? That's Canine Sika. She did a good job, didn't she? Canine? Yeah, she's a police dog. And she finds people. That's a drone. Yeah.
Thanks, Travis, for sending that in on there. But yeah, good old doggies. Good old doggies. I'll put him back up there quickly. What time is it? 10. I'm gonna get going in a minute. I hope that CP and KP do more interviews to keep things going now that everyone is pissed at Seth and Tony, praying that this case doesn't go cold. Now is the time to the Proudfoots to step up. Well, it'd be nice if they actually stepped up in a better way than what they're doing, to be honest with you. And as for Seth, well, I mean, God, Tony was out there putting out there about that freaking wrong information about Sebastian being abducted on the morning that he was seen on the morning and stuff like that. I think myself, my own opinion, I think that Seth is probably should have kept some of the people that were a lot more helpful. No offense, Tony. You're probably a decent guy. I don't know. But I just think that he doesn't really know what he's doing, and he's doing Seth no favors. And I think that because Seth doesn't really know what he's doing, that the good people that were helping him are the ones that are not helping him no more, or he's leaving on bad terms with and stuff like that. Someone like Trev Time that really is a good person. And yeah, so that's how I kind of see that. No comment. Tony, I tried on there. But, I mean, I honestly just don't know what to say about Sebastian's case. Because it's like doing circles. And it's just a lot of nothing. And the only thing that's going to break this case is if either A, they find that Sebastian comes out of the woodwork, they find his body somewhere, or somebody speaks up. Like, only until that happens, unless the police get some sort of lead that they can, whatever. Other than that, like, the information out there right now, there's no, besides putting out timelines and stuff like that, but we've all sifted through the same stuff, right? Honestly, like, there's nothing more that, unless Christopher and Katie had something to do with it, there's nothing more that they can really add, besides just to keep trying to bring awareness to the case, right? And I wish that they would do a hell of a lot better job than what they're doing. I wish that they would actually talk about the timeline again, but actually give a timeline of events for the timing of the day and exactly every detail that transpired that day. Because really, to me, that information to put to the public is more vital to me, because that gives you some more insight into, okay, this time we know this, but it's really hard when you can't trust what's coming from the Katie and Christopher corner, to be honest with you. So at the end of the day, we're not the detectives, we're just people trying to think about what could have happened to them, put out timelines, talk about the case and whatever. And at some point, hopefully, the process will find an answer for Sebastian Rogers. Praying that he's alive, however. Disappeared. Oh, yeah, 3 years later, 700 miles from home. Yeah, there is always hope. I am thinking, oh boy, a dog will come find me. I don't know, scares me. Mr. Travis, yet again, thanks for all the patient education you're spreading around out of the goodness of your heart. Truly appreciated. Good night, unindicted. Make sense of what doesn't make sense. Yeah. The head just spins, honestly. Like I said, Katie and Chris might have absolutely zero to do with Sebastian's disappearance, or even, let me just say, Katie and herself, right? Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but there's nothing to show that. There's nothing to show whether Sebastian's alive, dead. There's nothing to show that Sebastian left the house. And as for the whole drain pond footage thing, I think that the answer to that is that no, there was no, like what they thought was something ended up being nothing. The landfill ended up being nothing. The kid in North Carolina ended up being nothing on there. And it's a very frustrating case because something had to happen to this child. But I think what probably bugs me the most is knowing that no kid would run away and take nothing with him, let alone his own shoes, right? It doesn't make sense. So to me, it's something that, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. Let me look at that thing one last time. Okay, so the question was, will Sebastian be found regardless of what has happened to him? 6 months to a year, 42%. Over a year, 5%. Maybe never. We will see. Yeah, as 54%. It is disturbing. It's like, my heart's so invested in this case for Sebastian. Like I said, at the end of the day, Christopher, Katie, Seth, at the end of the day, for me, covering this case, like, they're not the end all to be all. It's like, it's one of those things that's about Sebastian. It's about seeing a child that was missing and wanting to make a difference and make awareness about it. And for people that don't know this was literally probably the first YouTube channel to put Sebastian out there. It was a couple of channels. Like, I literally, because of Adam, who brought me this story, This channel was literally the first channel that I know of because I typed it in, Sebastian Rogers. The only things that showed up for Sebastian Rogers was a couple of news channels because this was mostly on TikTok. And Aspen had said that. He goes, look, there's this case going on TikTok, but yet there's nothing going on in the actual case. So this case has a lot of meaning to us because, like I said, because we were like right on it from the start. He captured my heart as soon as Adam sent me it. And I was like, we're covering this. And it's just one of those things, like I said, so regardless of Katie or Christopher and Seth and whatever they do, it doesn't matter. It's just about Sebastian and bringing awareness to this poor kid. And hopefully if somebody does have him, they feel guilt. Hopefully, Sebastian is still alive and out there. And, who knows when the answer will ever come for this. It just makes me so sad to look at this boy's face and know that a child is there one moment and gone the next, right? Not just his, but other ones. Travis, are you trying to share links again? You put in a dot in the wrong spot. I do like trying to figure things out, but it's obvious. And if there's no evidence, you can't take the law into your own hand. I know that's me too, Bogey. Honestly, I like the intrigue, like meaning I don't do things because of the intrigue per se, like meaning the first and foremost thing is that a child is missing. Yeah. But I always am intrigued in cases that are like puzzles. And then you try to take them as far as you can get with the information at hand. And that's always what I try to do, is try to find all the information, like the timeline, that's relevant to the actual facts of what is being said by Katie, what is being said by Christopher, Seth, those different things, right? And then, like I said, so you try to take the basis of what it is as being truthful as you can, going by their timeline. So I like the fact of trying to take it as far as I can take it. But then I also realize that there's a point where you can't take it any further unless new information comes out. In mid-April 15th, Jasmine Pellegrini ran away from her Bay Point home without money, phone. Days later, her body was face down 40 miles away in a residential San Francisco neighborhood. How did that one turn out? Did they deem it as anything? Homicide? Suicide? Do you know, Travis? Sunny, the little girl lost and the dog finding her. I hope she doesn't think, if says in her mind, if I hide again, the dog. Right. Yeah, I get what you're saying there. Right. He is so beautiful, just like all the other heartbreaking and crushing. Yeah. Exposure. Yeah. Well, I'm going to head off for the night, you guys. So if you guys don't mind, just to at least give the video a like and a share. Just keep his awareness out there. Green hearts for Sebastian. Guess I should put out some more green hearts. On there. And again, apparently Christopher Proudfoot is on Queen Bee. So it's up to you guys. Go check it out. I'll see what he's saying or not saying or whatever. But whatever. It's about Sebastian first and foremost. Poor little dude. Just wonder what happened to him. Don't know. Should I be a troll? Go ahead and be a troll. Go be a troll. I'm going to go be a troll and see if there's anything. I'm going to go watch it in a minute and just see. I know that there's nothing more unless he's gonna like say, hey, you know what, we absolutely had something to do with it. You know what, you guys are right, arrest me. But honestly, there's nothing really that. The only thing he could do is, Katie and him can do is just add more to the timeline for people, you know, and that's just for the public. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Just add to the timeline. You don't have to bring your drama shit into it. Just add to the timeline of the, like, heck, they should put together their freaking own timeline and, you know, talk about it. Like, that's what people want to know. They want to just know the full timeline and then try to put the puzzle pieces together and help out. All right, guys. Oh, probably. Oh, that's what happens. Like when they cause drama. That was a headline. What was the That was a headline. What was the construction site? What do you mean by that question, actually, Travis? No, well, I wish that they would. I mean, he always says he wanted to answer tough questions. I got some tough questions for you guys. I just, you know, it's one of those things. Is like for me, I'm always very fair and respectful, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, it's just again trying to, for me, regardless. Okay, it's like cut to the bullshit. Let's just get straight to the point, and answer certain questions, right? Just so that the information, but in some ways it's kind of hard now because Christopher Proudfoot has done enough things where people don't trust what he says, you know, about certain things anymore. I tell them they are cowards then. Yeah. Well, even if you're blocked, you can still watch it, right? Thank you, Gail. Oops. And thank you, Lacey, for becoming a member again. I love you again. Travis, I'm not sure what your sentence meant about the construction site. That was a headline. What was the construction site? Oh, like, I still don't know what you mean, though. Yeah, I'd play it if I don't feel like I'd literally go over to it, but I don't feel like getting a freaking copyright strike. Look at mine immediately before that. First 3 weeks, dogs track Sebastian to construction site, and then no, but that's just the thing, Travis. Is that it's been said that that was not accurate and true. That's the whole point of all that. That's all the strange about that construction site thing. And honestly, I honestly don't know what's true about that whole construction site or not, because my head spins because you literally will watch on Nancy Grace where they're saying no, that wasn't, you hear Seth say that wasn't accurate information. You hear experts talking about it, saying that it wasn't. You hear people say that it was. Christopher Proudfoot saying, no, you know, there's these dogs that ding, 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 ding. I mean, I mean, I'd like it to be true that freaking it was there. Yeah, that's old news in a sense, Travis. That what you're reading from there, that's a copy and paste, right, from the article or whatever. But that's old news. Like, that's old news, because then it was said that no, that's not true, that there was no scent picked up by that. So it's like it's been said by, you know, freaking, I don't even know, so many people now. So, but Chris says that he swears that it's accurate. So, and right, and then Ali said that there was no hit. So things have updated since that particular thing, Travis. And so at the end of the day, I walk away with my head going, so is it true or not? Because if it was true, right, obviously that's somewhat of a lead, but they said that there was none. Anyways, guys, go over and watch Queen Bee. Travis, thank you for sending me that link. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Don't forget to come watch us tomorrow when Charmaine and Aspen are back, and Aspen's back from Delphi. Charmaine's back from her adventure as well, and stuff like that. We can find Sebastian by going on anything and everything. Yeah. He so I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that one now, Travis, to be honest with you. What you're saying is absolutely true, but recently, because Seth is going through these different emotions, he's more he's more attacking on some channels that he's doing because he's frustrated and pissed off, and understandable. It's just that he's, dropping a few inappropriate things. I mean, at the end of the day, it's one of those things. I understand what he's going through. The frustration, like I said, it's kind of like death, right? It has different stages. You grieve, then you get angry, pissed off. He's pissed off about, certain things with the Proudfoots, the vigils, whatever, and he's slaving his ass off trying to find his kid and stuff like that. Not seeing so much of the Proudfoots. People are attacking him. People are saying things, all that shit. So then he loses his shit on Alive and stuff like that. But he just needs to hold his composure a bit better instead of letting things get to him. But I understand it. But at the end of the day, when you're dealing with the public, the public can turn on you in a moment's time. And they have somewhat on Seth, right? If Seth would have stayed just the way on the course like he was doing at the start, but it's kind of been some drama now between definitely both sides of the fence. Well, Lacey, it's probably true if in their house they don't even basically let him touch his phone, and stuff like that. Yeah. See, I said maybe he took him somewhere and left him. First pretend to be like Chris, then boom. The things people say. Anyways, it's 10:20. At least I got to work from home tomorrow. Yay. But I'll set up my shit in the morning. Anyways, my husband's going to want to go to bed soon. And he left me with a load of laundry on the bed. Isn't that so nice of him? I'm going to make him come help me do it. Anyways, Bogey, I'll have to look at your email tomorrow because chances are I'm not going to sit on my computer after. Well, no, I am going to go watch Queen Bee. So I'm going to be lying if I'm going to get off my computer right away. But typically, I don't sit at my computer. Typically, I'm on my iPad in bed at this point on there. I feel pretty confident that LD have confirmed through video surveillance that Chris was where he said he was for days and during the incident, or else in saying that, Prime Paula, I mean, they've already have eyewitness that they've already confirmed his whereabouts there. Now it wasn't from the LE. It was through social media in some way where the person working with Christopher Proudfoot said that he was there at 5 or whatever in the morning, type of thing. Anyways, you guys, sweet dreams. Prayers for Sebastian Rogers. And thank again everyone that spreads the word, cares about cases, cares about people in general and stuff like that. I know you're just waiting for the outro. The day that CP was gone. Yeah, to go get his camper on that. Good night, guys. All right. And prayers for Sebastian. Bye, buddy. Okay, where's that outro? Oh, it's down here. Bye, guys.
A Norfolk night, the world is cold. We stand surrounded, we are not alone. Within my reverie, there's hope.